All right, welcome back to the Straight Red Card. We've got the 23-man roster we're going to talk about today that Gregg is going to pick for the Gold Cup, and then we're going to tell you who the starting 11 is. And as Gregg, I'm going to tell you who the starting 11 is, and it's not going to change for my other starting 11, but Brett's got his own opinion, so we're gonna discuss it. I do have to replace 3 of my reserves, though, Brett, because Ochoa was not on the 59. Nope. Pineda was not on the 59. And surprisingly, unless he's injured or something, Justin Glad wasn't on this 59. So
that's a really good point. I didn't think about Glad.
It's weird. Yeah, he didn't even make the 59. I'm like, damn. They must think very little of him after the Olympics.
God, there's so many other players you could have thought so little of and still included them.
So let's go with goalkeepers. I've got Matt Turner, Sean Johnson, and after that, I'm a little baffled. And I think I'm just going to say Brad Guzan, just for his leadership, maybe.
All right. We are 100% in agreement for goalkeepers.
Jesus.
I went with Guzan strictly for experience.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yep. Me too.
He can have the plate of orange slices and Capri Suns ready for the subs. But,
almost act like an assistant coach, goalkeeper coach.
More or less, yeah.
For Matt Turner. And I'm just surprised there's not a young goalkeeper on this list. So we go to left back, and I have George Bello and Sam Vines.
Yes, I agree. Once again, Vines and Bello. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You need a break?
No. I had the mic muted for half a second, and it threw me for a loop.
Okay.
Nothing but professional here,
Yeah. Don't want to be thrown
for loops.
You know
what the sad thing is? I've got a list right in front of me of all the players, and I could have easily just looked. There's 8 names for defenders. And I could have just looked. Well, there's Vines. Who else is left back?
That's what's going on. I listed mine by position, and you haven't yet done that.
No. I went right back first, and then left back. Then center backs.
Okay. All right, right back then. I've got Aaron Herrera as the reserve and Araujo as your starter, but could be Cannon. But I'm sticking with Herrera and Araujo. I don't think Cannon's coming.
If I will agree with you, only if Moore and Cannon are not available. I have Moore and Cannon for me right now.
If Moore and Cannon are there, Cannon's the starter.
Absolutely, yes.
But
no doubt in my mind.
It could be that if Cannon makes this team, Araujo may say, nah, I don't want the call up because I can still play for Mexico, and you guys have way too many right backs. So I'd rather play for Mexico. So we may see Araujo drop out of this lineup.
Sure. Let's follow the numerous players to bow out of the United States to go to Mexico just to find themselves never called up again.
I know. I'm just saying.
Whatever. That's fine. You want to play
Araujo, that game. For Araujo, the list of Mexican right backs lining up to be the next best right back is not very long compared to ours. So,
but in fairness, how often do we bag on Cannon? How often recently did we bag on Yedlin? Yedlin wasn't even in the picture until he made the move to Turkey.
And honestly, Yedlin played better than Cannon in Nations League.
So again, yes, he's behind Cannon and he's behind Yedlin. But after that, but that's still hoping that they perform well enough to remain on the list.
He's also behind Dest if you play Robinson at left back.
Well, yes. I ignored Dest because he should be right back.
So I'm just saying Araujo might be thinking just like I'm thinking right now. Like the chances of me being the right back for the United States going forward is skimpy compared to the opportunities of playing for Mexico going forward. And that's why I think this is the same thing that Alvarez was thinking. I got no chance of being a winger or a CAM for the United States men's national team in the next 10 years.
Again, I'm going to stand firm and say that, up until just recently when he made the move to Turkey, Yedlin was out of the picture. And then Cannon was just an FC Dallas right back a year ago. So, how far – don't get me wrong, I would still start Cannon over him, but how far is he really behind Cannon at that point?
Not very.
Not very.
No, nope, I'd agree with that.
if he makes the move, I'm just saying that there's not a great history of players making the choosing to play for Mexico over the United States and starting.
Cannon's got one advantage. He's in Europe and he's going to stay there. So,
but I guess you can make the argument to say that the Mexican American players that choose to play for the United States haven't really had a great track record either until just recently.
And so
they're kind of in that awkward middle ground, aren't they?
I wouldn't want to be him because he just got called into our team. And he's going to have to make, because this will cap tie him.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that's a big decision. And how many times have you heard Araujo say, I'm open to either team in interviews? Multiple times. Mm-hmm. Multiple. So, all right. Center back, I had to suck eggs because I had Pineda and Justin Glad as Gregg, and I just failed to predict Gregg, and neither are on this 59,000 man roster.
The only Gregg, 2 players from the Olympic roster that didn't make it, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, and Soto, of course.
That's got to hurt if you're Glad and Pineda because goddamn, what's his name from New England made it and you didn't. Kessler, and he played pretty poorly too. So, so I had to replace those 2 guys, but I am going at center back with Zimmerman and Miles Robinson, who I think are obvious.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to go with Justin Che. I mean, I would like to see Justin Che as a center back here. And
I've got him on my list too. What's your last one?
Yeah. And either, this is kind of a cop-out, CCV or Eric Palmer Brown.
Massive cop-out. I went with Brown.
Okay. If I had to, I'm going with Vickers. So I won't cop out totally. If I had to pick between the 2, I'm going with Vickers. Midfield. I had Roldan, Tessman, Busio, Leggett, Yule, and Acosta.
Okay, this is where we differ. So I have Acosta.
Okay.
Back up to I have Flock. And we talked about this in the midfield segment.
So you're going Flock over Tessman?
Yes.
Okay. That's believable. Like, I could believe that. If that happens, it's believable, and it will also cap tie Flock.
I have Green, and we talked about Green, so I might be wrong completely here. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Well, you guys, who do you replacing Green with then? Because there's only going to be 6 midfielders, right?
Yeah. I guess no. I mentioned in the midfield one. I go if Green doesn't make it, I had Roldan.
Now Roldan's making this.
Yeah. Well, no, I have. See, this is where we differ. Because my other players, I wouldn't substitute Roldan for either 3 of them.
Let me put my Gregg mask back on and tell you no. Roldan's making this team, and the only way Green makes it is as a winger.
Shut the fuck up, Gregg.
You asshole. So
I've got Green, and if Green can't make it, Roldan makes it. Because I have Leggett, which you have too, and I've got Clark, and I've got Busio.
What position in Gregg's system in the midfield does Green play? You tell me.
He was going to play. He's going to play more of an offensive-minded one of the 8s.
No,
but
he isn't.
I'm just saying he's listed as a midfielder, so I have to assume that Berhalter's looking at him as a midfielder. I want to see him on the team playing. Again, he's one of those players that at this point we need to see what he can do, and if he can't perform, then he needs to be out of the picture.
Only
but
way
we need to see him play.
Only way he makes this team is a temporary group stage player because he needs to get back to Germany. We've already talked about this.
That's neither here nor there. We talked about this already. Yes,
I know.
I agree.
I'm just saying that's why you're going to be wrong on that. All right.
I said if Green does not make the roster, that Roldan will take a spot.
Yeah.
And you know what? And that may happen. I hope it doesn't.
I'm just telling you, it's going to happen.
I said, shut the fuck up, Gregg.
So just get ready to be disappointed. Rat. All right.
I'm disappointed on a camp basis, Derek. Every camp, I come up with a roster, and Berhalter says, I see what you did, and I'm going to say, nah, bruh. Not going to happen.
And this is why I'm never disappointed. because it's like, well, that's not true.
You may not be disappointed, but you're awfully sad when it comes true.
Yes, I know. I was going to say, I
Half
already know
empty,
what's going to
half full.
happen. but
This is where we're at right now.
I predict misery, and misery comes, and I'm still miserable. That's how this works.
I just
All
welcome it with open arms.
right. I guess you
Prove
do.
me wrong. No.
All right, wingers. I had Caden Clark, Cade Cowell, Chris Mueller, and Areola.
So wingers, I have Cowell,
Yep.
Mueller.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Areola because I opted to be more like Gregg.
Yep.
I would have picked Gio Caccini over Areola because I know what we get with Areola. But I guess we do need to have some form of consistency in the Gold Cup. We can't just go with a bunch of. No, I'm not saying Gio Caccini's untested, but he kind of is.
But
And
if you-
Areola is not. Areola is tested, and he's adequate and performs.
But
And
if
he's a
you
workhorse.
if you take Gio Caccini, you're basically stomping on Caden Clark's face.
I got Caden Clark in the midfield still.
No, you didn't. You had rolled
Yes.
on.
Ugh, you didn't listen at all. I have Acosta and Flock, Green, Leggett, Clark, and Busio.
Man, you're smoking better shit than I am.
What can I
If
say?
you think that's happening, dude, you are dreaming.
Here. When have I ever said this is exactly what's going to happen?
There's no
I
way.
always predict them wrong.
There's no way Gregg's playing Caden Clark or Green as a center midfielder, not in his wrecking crew of three, the way he plays it, and not the pivot. No, it's not.
He needs to broaden his horizons, man.
Well, I know Gregg needs to broaden his horizons because we talked about the 3-2-3-1. By the way, this guy on one of the pages was saying nobody plays that position, and I had this long argument with him on, I think it was Major League Soccer discussion group, and he said it's the worst formation, etc., etc. And then I watched Paraguay versus Argentina tonight. Guess what they both started with? A 4-2-3-1. Okay, enough of that. If you played a 4-2-3-1, you could play Caden Clark or Julian Green in that CAM second striker position. But this is Gregg we're talking about, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
As a winger, and
I
that's
don't announce that I'm Gregg. Remember, in this scenario, you're Gregg.
I know.
You're the one broadcasting misery. I'm the one broadcasting hope. Pray
Yes,
that I'm
you
right.
are. Thank God. You are the yin to my yang on this show. So the forward position's pretty easy. It's DK and Zardes, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
Sorry,
there's-
my other winger option was Hoppy because I don't see him cracking the center striker position.
I'd like to see Hoppy.
He's a
but
huge workhorse, and he can run that left or right either way.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen for a myriad of reasons we've already
talked about
discussed. Yeah. So, all right. So we will move on to our starters. I've got Matt Turner as the goalkeeper.
Sure, why not?
Sam Vines is the left back.
Yep.
Araujo is the right back.
Nope, I have Cannon, but
I know you
we've
do.
talked about it.
Yep. Center back, I got Zimmerman Robinson.
Yes and yes.
Midfield, I've got Leggett, Ewell, and Acosta.
I have Leggett, Acosta, and Green.
Dream on, brother. Winger, I've got Mueller and Areola.
Yep.
DK is our center forward.
Look at that. I'm only 2 players away from Gregg. That's
I know.
sad. I'm crying on the inside. You may not be able to tell right now, but I'm crying on the inside.
I know, it's getting darker in there, isn't it? Okay. Well, folks, that's what it's going to be like, we think. I mean, and frankly, we're usually pretty close, if not right on. Well, okay, never 100% right on, but on enough. So
nobody's 100% Gregg. You don't go 100% Gregg.
Dude, it's a dark place to go 100% Gregg. That's really hard to do without crying. So we don't do it here, even when I channel my inner Gregg. It's hard to do 100% of that.
Guys, despite how dark it got there at the end by us channeling our inner Gregg, make sure you like, subscribe, comment on every video. We enjoy commenting back. It's just a ton of fun.
Join us on Twitter. Go to our
Yeah.
Twitter page. It's right up there. You can see it. Twitter us.
Straight_red.
Yes. And we'll be starting to expand this channel as we move forward. But we want to thank all of you for supporting us and helping us grow faster than weeds coming out of the gate. A lot of you have never heard of us before. I mean, we haven't had a show for 7 years.
And share all those videos.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys for coming out and supporting us. This is crazy how many views we're getting on our show that we just started just a handful of months ago. So thanks for your support. Keep watching, and we'll be back with another show soon on the Straight Red Card.